Craig Wright, just come back from Ireland coaching the Scotland under-19 team who's been competing in the World Cup qualifiers. Went well for you, I believe.
Yeah, you could say that. Yeah, the guys did fantastically well, yes.
Hey, what would you say was your most pleasing match?
It's difficult to say. I think we had a few games where we won from a difficult position, and we had a couple of games that we won pretty comfortably. I think probably our best performance, taking into account the opposition, was probably the game against Nepal, where we batted first, and we sort of ground out, a score of 210, 220 on a wicket that was really quite suited to their spin attack. They bowled, I think, 37, 38 overs of spin against us, and the guys batted really well in that situation to get 210, 220, and then the bowling unit really performed well to get their sort of dangerous players out, and then we managed to win that game quite comfortably. So I think that was probably our most complete performance.
And there was quite a few lads that seemed to all stand up to the plate when required. You happy with the commitment the lads showed?
Oh yeah, I mean, in terms of this group, one of their best attributes is their attitude and their work ethic and their commitment to the cause. So no question marks there. But I think one of the other really pleasing aspects was that we had, we didn't rely on one or two star performers. Lots of different guys stuck their hand up at different times over the course of the tournament and put in performances which won us or contributed to winning individual games. So it was a real team effort over the 2 weeks.
Yeah. If you had to pick a couple of standout performers, should we say, what performances struck you the most?
Individually?
Yeah, individually.
To be honest, I'm not a big fan of doing that. I could probably name you 7 or 8, 9 or 10 decent individual performances. I think, like I say, I think there was a real, virtually everybody at some stage did something that contributed to a win. So to pick out any performances over and above the others would probably not be fair on the rest of the guys who did fantastically well. So I think it's a bit of a cliche, but it really was a team effort over the course of the tournament.
Now you did, of course, win the tournament, only losing the one game against Canada. You must have learnt quite a few lessons, team-wise, sort of confidence-wise. You believe you're stronger after the qualifiers?
Well, I think that it was a fantastic experience for our guys to play in a competition like that, and for us to be able to benchmark ourselves against the top associate teams from around the world. But the other teams, there's some real good talent out there, and I think we had to be really resilient over the course of the tournament in certain situations to earn victories. There weren't really any victories that came particularly easily. Even the games that we won quite comfortably in terms of the scoreline, we had periods in those games where we had to fight really hard. So a fantastic opportunity for the guys to be involved in something like that, and obviously for it to go well and to go our way was something that we can really take a lot from as a team, and the guys can individually as individual players. The
draw was made for, it's being held in Australia in August, of course, next year. Grouped with Pakistan, New Zealand and Afghanistan. Happy with that?
Yeah, I think just to be involved in a competition like this is fantastic. Pakistan were I think finalists the last time, and New Zealand have a history of producing real good quality young players for a country of their size. Afghanistan we played against obviously in this tournament, and they've got some dangerous players. So they'll obviously be really hard games. Each of those 3 games will be really hard, but we'll prepare as well as we possibly can do, and you can go into that competition with the objective of knocking off a couple of teams.
Yeah, talk about the preparation. How are you going to prepare? What have you got in store for the lads?
Well, we'll sit down over the next few weeks and start to map it out. Obviously the focus up until this point has been on preparing and doing well in the competition that we've just finished. So it's a bit too early to say what the schedule will look like for the next year leading up to that competition. But I'm hopeful we'll be able to do some good work and continue the good work that's already been done with this group to get us into a position where we're able to go into the World Cup and show the skills that we've got.
Do you think the lads are going to have to work on anything specific to sort of help them adapt to the Australian conditions at all?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the conditions over there will be different to what they're used to. I suppose the pace in the pitches, and perhaps the pace in some of the opposition bowlers, will be something that we'll need to look at. And yeah, I mean, we realise it's a step up in quality in terms of the opposition, but that's what we've earned the right to have a crack at. And I'm sure that will, knowing this group of players, I'm sure that will inspire them rather than intimidate them.
Yeah, the spirit seems to be quite high. What about yourself? You're sort of into a coaching role now. How are you finding that as opposed to being a player?
I enjoy it. I find it frustrating at times where you can't actually do anything about what's happening on the field like you can do as a player. But I really enjoy it. I'm enjoying still being involved in the game as closely as I am, and it really helps, and it makes it more worthwhile when you're working with a group of players like the one that I'm at the moment with these guys. In terms of their attitude and their discipline and their commitment to improving, and that makes my job a lot easier and a lot more enjoyable.
Yeah, well, I know we were all following what the players had to say through Twitter. I believe you're a tweeter yourself.
I steered clear of it during the competition, but yeah, I noticed one or two of the guys were on there, and I'm sure you're encouraging even more of them to get on there for the World Cup next year, I'm sure.
Indeed. Yeah, that's great. Well, thanks very much for your time, Craig, and we'll let you get on, and we'll speak to you soon.
Cheers, man.
Bye.